Hello everyone, my name is Achita Sana and I'm here to take a session on anxiety and depression. And jahan tak I guess you must be familiar with these terms, and could be a possibility that you must be going through. I just hope not. But if it is so, I don't think that's a big deal, because when you are uh, something which is alive, it must go through various stages and various phases and various spheres of life so that you can grow. That is what our sages and what our experts and conscious people, the conscious, I call them existence. As such, they are people who know uh, a lot more than we do about ourselves. So these things um, are highly neglected, but are the most prominent parts of our lives today, and especially after the pandemic period, which was such a catastrophe for the humanity. I mean, the entire mankind just got scattered due to this natural calamity. तो हम अपना सेशन शुरू करते हैं. सबसे पहले हम ये जानते हैं कि ये चीज़ें होती क्या हैं, एंग्जाइटी किसे कहते हैं. एंग्जाइटी, अगर आप जनरल टर्म की मीनिंग समझोगे तो एंग्शियस होना मतलब क्या होता है, परेशान होना किसी बात को लेकर. आप का कोई एग्ज़ाम था एंड आप टेंशन में हो कि उसका रिज़ल्ट या आपकी परफॉर्मेंस कैसी रहेगी, या विल यू बी एबल टू मेक इट ऑन टाइम और नॉट, आप समय से पहुंच पाओगे, अब सही से कर पाओगे, एट्सेट्रा एट्सेट्रा. तो बेसिकली किसी चीज़ को लेके हम जब डिस्टर्ब्ड होते हैं तो उसे सिंपल टर्म्स में हम एंग्शियस होना कहते हैं. बट एंग्जाइटी एज अ डिजीज़ या एज अ डिसऑर्डर, जब ये एक सीवियर स्टेज में होती है और एक ऐसी चीज़ बन जाए जो कॉन्स्टेंटली आपकी लाइफ का हिस्सा बन जाए, जो आपके कह सकते हो स्टेट ऑफ माइंड का एक ऐसा पार्ट बन जाए जो आप ना डील कर पा रहे हो, जिससे आप बाहर नहीं निकल पा रहे, और एक कांस्टेंट आपके अंदर वो चलने लगा है, तो उसे फिर एक डिसऑर्डर कह देते हैं. और वो इतने सीवियर फॉर्म्स ले लेता है कि उसके फिज़िकल इम्पैक्ट्स भी देखने को मिल जाते हैं, लाइक BP changes, the rise and fall of blood pressure, the changes in the heartbeat, which is sometimes very severe, and it is known as palpitation, sudden increase in your heartbeats, panic attacks, and insomnia, and restlessness, and the many most common thing which is a symptom of every sort of mental disorder is insomnia, which is lack of sleeping. Lack of proper hour of sleep is a part of I guess most of the mental disorders, and is the cause, I guess, the most important and the most un attended cause of most of the mental disorders is your sleeping states, the sleeping cycle. If you do not take proper sleep of 5, 6, 8 hours, proper sleep. And what does that mean? You are lying on the bed for 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. That is not sleep. You slept for just 4 hours, but it was a complete deep sleep. That is enough. Especially if you know about the yogic perspectives and yogic traditions, then they say that you don't need sleeping which is 10 to 12 hours long. Me as a student, when I was in school, Then I had a routine of sleeping at 10 and getting up at 4. And during the entire duration of this 6 hours, I guess, no any sort of disturbance used to happen. And this was the bestest sort of sleep that I had ever had before being introduced with every other yogic trends. It was a natural thing, and everybody has this, but due to the reasons that uh, we go through in our lives, certain stages, certain phases come up, and has happened in most of uh, the people's life. So it's very natural that it uh, gets disturbed. So what is the solution? वैसे तो I can tell you so many, because there are so many, but the one that I would recommend and that I had practiced and that I follow a lot is the methods of equalizing or balancing, or giving it a dimension, as they say, is pranayam, or the not exactly exercises but the breathing procedures that have been taught in our yogic culture and by our sages, and in the ancient practices that were used by the rishis and the gurus of the this country, was a method which is known as pranayam, or giving a dimension or a direction to the pranic forces of energy that exists in our cells. What our sages say is that the kind of and the quality and the life, you may say it a hierarchical quality of life, as in you'll lead a good life, a normal life, an average life, or a very good life, or an excellent life, or a superb life, depends on the balance of the pranic forces in your body. If you are well aware with the yogic practices, you must have heard of the 7 points, or the we call it as chakra in Hindi. 7 points of evolution, that I name it as. These points are very subtle, they are not physical at all. So they say, the rishis, the sages, they say that the 7 points have a sort of a flow of energy. The more it flows towards the down, the down parts, downwards, the more ignorant and pathetic the life gets. The more it rises towards the upper direction, the genius and magnificent life it becomes. So it is basically an equation, that is, the more pranic energy that you carry, the more beautiful life you are going to live, and the lesser it will get, the lesser it will or the you may say it, the dwindling of pranic energy in our body and in our selves, the whole entire being that we are. The dwindling of pranic energy leads to such mental states which are depressive, which are anxious, which are not happy, which are non conducive and non productive, and leads to a thrashed and a suffering kind of life. So now you may ask that what could be the way we could enhance the energies, the pranic forces. The way was earlier mentioned, which is the pranayam, the pranic evolution of our being. and that is known as pranayama. So, what is pranayama? Basically, pranayama is a breathing technique which was used by ancient as well as the concurrent yogic practitioners to for several purposes. First one, to build a healthy configuration of pranic forces within themselves. Second, to immune themselves from lower sentiments and lower sensory deteriorations and modifications of the mind. Basically, the worldly attractions that you may say, and to make themselves a highly evolved, healthy mind and body constitution. Because as long as the mind as well as the body is not healthy, you cannot live a beautiful or a quality or a brilliant sort of life, howsoever money you earn, howsoever successful you may become. If your body and mind constitution doesn't work well, you can't lead a good life, and that's a fact. So there are many healthy practices that you may uh, in instill within yourselves so that you can lead a beautiful life outside. This was a brief introduction of what anxiety is, what depression is, and how to deal with it, and what is the yogic method of dealing with such kinds of states of mind. Hoping it to be a sort of help. I here end this session. Take care. Tata. Bye bye.